Hey, welcome back. I watched the first episode and the pimples are bad. So I moved further back. Maybe that helps. I don't like, I just don't want to look at these videos and just be disgusted by myself. Goggle boy, so witty. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Okay, so we go to Mumble. Yay! I was gonna talk about. Now I'm a little bit worried that the microphone's too far away. I don't know what I'm doing. Boop, boop, boop. I don't know. This isn't. I've talked about this kind of thing before. Like, this isn't translating what I'm doing here, what I do with therapy. It's not translating to real life. I talk to my parents every Monday. I call them. And I'm not able to talk to them like, it's not right. It's not right. I can't talk to them the way I want to talk. Like I'm doing the pen pal thing. And the way I talk there is kind of the way I want. I know it's in writing, so it's different, but I just want to be able to have the same feeling that I have when I communicate that way than when I communicate by talking, and it just never feels good. I never like doing it. My mom was talking to me and she asked me a question that I'm like, okay, this is like what you're trying to do. She was like, what's back there? I've been going to the Bible study thing. Every other Tuesday. Oops. I'm a note 1 of 100 on each world. Collect us to open the note doors. Okay. I can get it. I can get that. And she asked me a good question. She's like, we were talking about healing. We're talking about gifts of the Spirit and healing. And my mom was like, do you believe God can heal people? That's like a good prompt for a question that like I would have talked about here. Like something I could have talked about. But I didn't know what to say. I guess maybe I was afraid that like I would have the wrong answer. Like I would say no, and then my mom would be like, well, I thought you were Christian, you're bad, I don't like you, you're not my son anymore. I don't know. I don't really believe that, but she would have been like, oh, that's interesting, I wonder why you think that way or something. I don't know. And I just mumbled like some nonsense. I wasn't able to really answer the question. I was just like, well, I know like some people, they have cancer and then they pray and they like there's studies that like positive thinking helps you and stuff, and so maybe that's what you're talking about, maybe. And she's like, yeah, I guess I was kind of talking about that. I guess it is a hard question. I mean, how am I supposed to know the answer to that? Do I believe God can heal people? I guess not really. I don't know. But like it's impossible to know the answer to that question. So I guess maybe that was just a tough question. But they just always seem like just tough questions. Everything's a tough question. How was your day? That's a tough question. I don't know. A lot of stuff happened. A lot of stuff didn't happen. It was boring. It was interesting. I don't know how to explain it all. This is too easy. Oh, no, you just got one. Do I go back to the beginning? No, it's not like Mario 64. Turn to the start area and stand on the exit pad. That's so much better, right? Is that much better? Why does it work in Mario 64, but it seems like it wouldn't work here? Or like, I don't want to go all the way back to the beginning. But in Mario 64, you feel like... Oh, I got the star, and then now you go back to the beginning and you do it again. But now it's like, oh, I just got the puzzle piece, I want to keep going. This is the one. I need this. Hold C, then press the left C button. That's confusing. I like this one. This is my favorite one. Burr, 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 burr. So, I couldn't answer. What do I think? I guess maybe, yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer. I know. And my mom was the one who mentioned this, which made me happy. She's like, the faith healer people on TV, they're bad. They're not good. They're trying to steal your money. They're like, give us $100 and we'll heal your liver. Well, what? How does that work? That doesn't make any sense. I can sense someone watching right now. Their tummy hurts. I'm gonna heal that tummy. Okay, I think this is what you do. Okay, how did you go up there? Do you have to just go quick? Nope, okay. What do I believe? I guess I've always said, oh, I'm a Christian, but I never really talk about it. Like, specifically, do I believe? I guess I don't like asking myself that question, because I feel like once I ask myself, the answer might be no. Like, I think the problem is once you ask yourself the question, it's like you have to actually start thinking about it logically, and like logic and God, they don't really mix. God is kind of illogical and unexplainable. So once you're like, well, do you believe in God? I think any reasonable person would be like, oh, no, there's no reason for God to exist. So you don't really want to ask yourself the question, but I guess it's helpful for me to frame it that way. Like, it's okay to not know and to not ask yourself the question and to just, I'm a Christian and I know that. Does God exist? I don't know. I've never seen him. How am I supposed to know that? I believe he exists. Fine, I'm a Christian. I believe he exists, but I don't know. So I guess if you ask me, do I believe God exists, then I have to say yes. Oops. Otherwise, what kind of a Christian would I be? I guess nobody ever really asks you, do you know God exists? Obviously no. I don't know. Do you believe he exists? It's such a loaded question though. Why do I have such a hard time saying yes to that? But if someone asks me, are you a Christian? I'm like, yeah. It's not as loaded as like, do you believe God exists? I don't know why. Because there are things that people could say about like preconceived notions about Christianity. So like if I say I'm a Christian, they might think poorly of me. So it can't be that. I guess I want people to think I'm smart. And so if I'm like, I believe God exists, then you're like, whoa, why? Why do you believe he exists? Well, I don't know. I'm a Christian and I want to. Those are my reasons. Like I'm a Christian and I want to. That's why I believe God exists. There's no logical explanation or proof for God. There can't be. By like the definition of God, it doesn't make sense for you to be able to prove he exists. I don't like these. Whenever I hear like Christians try to explain, like, oh, I look at the trees and that helps me to know that God exists. Or I don't know. Or there's, actually maybe I should talk about this tomorrow. Because I'm almost done for the day and I can sense it could be a long topic. Oh, wait, what did he say? By jumping into the air, then pressing the Z. They just copied Mario 64 as ground pound. This is the backflip. Do the backflip. I don't mean to. If that's your reason for believing in God, it's like it's a good reason. It's as good a reason as anybody else's reason. But that doesn't click with me for you to. And there's. I'll talk about this tomorrow, but I'll give a teaser. There's the, or maybe not, I don't know. There's an example that a lot of Christians always talk about, like, or like an analogy where they say, imagine you're in a forest and you come across a watch. Would you believe that that watch came out of nowhere? Oops. Or would you believe that it was made by something? And you're supposed to say, oh, it was made by something. And then they're like, that's how trees work. God made them. And I'm like, what? What leap are you making there? That's too far of a leap for me. Anyway. See you tomorrow. Bye.